Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome to my channel. My name is Sabrina. I want to first apologize, the lighting may be a little bit wonky. I am filming at nighttime because I was super lazy today and I didn't get to film while the daylight was out. I do have lighting, but I just feel like it's kind of wonky right now, so I apologize for that. And my cat, of course, is going crazy. I just tried feeding him, but he's gonna meow. He's gonna be in the video because that's how he is. Today's video, there he was. Today's video is going to be talking about relationships while you're disabled. So if you guys didn't know and you're new to my channel, my name is Sabrina and I have a spinal cord injury, and September is Spinal Cord Injury Awareness Month, so I've been trying to do more spinal cord injury related posts on my social media. If you guys don't follow me on Instagram, I've been doing a lot of stuff over there, so that's where the majority of the posts are. But I do want to film a couple of videos for you guys that I can share throughout the month of September, and this is the first one that I'm filming that's strategically made for Spinal Cord Injury Awareness Month. I did film one about loving your body before I even thought about doing this post, so yeah, that was a really long intro, but I'm going to get into these questions because I know that I'm going to be very long-winded because that's just how I am. So the first couple ones come from Instagram. Again, if you're not following me, do so. It's just at heysabrinafaith. I asked you guys for questions, polls, all the stuff on Instagram all the time. That's where I feel like I connect with you guys the most, so definitely follow me over there if you like my content. Okay, so the first question is, how do you keep a house clean? I have chronic back pain and it's such a struggle for me. So these questions are related to all types of relationships, not just romantic relationships. If you guys don't know, I just moved in with my partner Jacob and we have lived together for a couple of months now. I'm always posting on my Instagram how I'm cleaning the house on my days off because I like a clean house. Right now it's a disaster because I haven't had time to clean it, but it will get done. As far as cleaning, I have Jacob do the things outside such as mowing, taking the trash out, stuff like that. We have a dishwasher now, which I've never had a dishwasher before, so it's super easy to do that. And I have Jacob put away the things that I physically cannot reach because of my chair. And then the rest of it, I personally like cleaning, so if it's a day where I'm feeling just super exhausted or I'm in high amounts of pain, I just don't do it. Jacob, I know, is not going to care if it doesn't get done. And like last night, the cat's box needed to get changed really bad, so he did it for me just because it was something that I did not want to do, so he did that for me. As far as how do I do it, I feel like I take on the majority of the cleaning because I have a certain way that I want things to be cleaned, and I just want to do it myself because I'm a control freak like that. But if there's something that I cannot do or don't want to do, I do have Jacob do it. This house has mostly hardwood floors, which I'm really thankful about, but I feel like they never can get clean. I try to sweep / vacuum them at least once a week, sometimes more than that. I know that's pushing it because I have 3 cats, but I don't push my body too hard. I have 2 days off and I try to do it then, or I do it little bits at a time throughout, like when I have time after work. I don't ever give myself time before work, but like after work. Do you guys both cook? What makes you feel most sexy, and do I get along with Jacob's mom? So we do both cook. Jacob does the majority of the cooking because 1, he likes it, 2, he's good at it, and 3, he's usually home before I am. My job makes me work later in the evening, so he's usually home. I pick out the groceries. I do the grocery shopping because if I were to let him do groceries, it would be pizza and burgers all the time. So I do the grocery shopping. We use Walmart grocery pickup. Majority of the time he goes to pick them up unless he can't, and then I'll go do it. But he does do the majority of the cooking. If it's my night to cook, I do simple stuff that I know how to cook. But we do try to eat at home the majority of the time. We have been sleeping a lot lately, but we do try to eat at home the majority of the time. But it's mostly him doing the cooking and me doing the eating. What makes you feel most sexy? I feel the most sexy, I feel like, when I put effort into my appearance, when I look good, because majority of the time I'm a bum. This is not how I look most days. I usually have my hair up, I usually have no makeup on, and if I'm at home, like on a day off like today, I'm wearing a baggy t-shirt and that's about it. So I feel sexy whenever I put effort in my appearance, whenever I've tried. That doesn't necessarily mean doing my makeup or doing my hair, it just means feeling like I try. I can feel sexy walking, or I don't walk, but rolling around the house in a sports bra and leggings, if I just know that I tried and I tried to look somewhat decent that day. Other than that, I don't really know. Jacob is really good about boosting my self-confidence. I've never had an issue with not feeling attracted by him. Sorry, I don't know what words are. He's always telling me that I look beautiful even in the morning when I look like crap. There have been times where I've been absolutely sick and he has told me that I look beautiful. I've never doubted that. So I don't really know if I have a good answer for that because I don't really know. And do I get along with his mom? Yes, I get along with both of Jacob's parents. They don't live very far from us. We actually just got back from their house. Every Monday we have Pizza Mondays over there. They order pizza for us and we just hang out. I hadn't seen them in a couple of weeks because they were gone on a cruise, so seeing them today was really nice. But both of his parents are amazing people. They're super great, and his mom is super nice. So is his dad. They both are, but I get along with them very well, and I'm thankful that I'm marrying into the family that I'm marrying into. His dad will send me funny cat TikToks all the time that he thinks are funny that I will like, or he'll send things that make me think of him, or he thinks of me. They're just super sweet people, and I'm really glad that they are the people who are going to be my in-laws. They raised a really great man, and I can tell Jacob gets a lot of his great personality from his parents. Have any of your friends or family ever made you feel inferior to them because of your disability? I don't think my family has. The only thing that I could kind of think of is that my family, sometimes I will notice them feeling sorry for me, but it's the people who aren't around me a lot. Like my sister, she's around me all the time, and that she never ever questions it. It's never like I'm disabled. The funniest story, it's funny now, at the time it was not, but when I first got injured, my sister owns a salon, and getting into her salon is like a little ramp. When I first got injured, I didn't know how to manage my body weight. Like when I'm going up a hill, you have to adjust a certain way, and I kept being like, Chastity, I can't do this, I can't do this, I need help. And she was like, you've got to figure it out. This is your life now. Like, you've got to figure it out, because I'm not going to be around to help you all the time. That's not because she didn't love me. She was tough love to show me that I needed to work through it. And I ended up falling backwards and hitting my head on the concrete. I was fine. I was laughing, and she just starts bawling. I was fine, obviously, but I tell that story because she's always been like that. It's never been an issue of, oh, feel sorry for me, my sister's in a wheelchair. She's always like, you are a bad A. She doesn't cuss, but she's always like, you've got this. And anytime where I've ever been down or upset or frustrated, I call her, and she always speaks wisdom into me, and she's just so nice. But there are some people in my family who I think pity me, even with friends who pity me because of it, because they're not around me, so they don't know my personality and they don't know how I am as a disabled person, and so it's easy for them to feel sorry for me. There were people that I were friends with at one time who would make really just gross jokes, and I love jokes. I make fun of myself all the time. I will be the first to make a handicap joke, but these people did not know me. They were friends with someone that I used to see, and they just made some really insensitive jokes that I did not think were funny, and that made me feel inferior. But nobody's ever made me feel, other than that, nobody's ever made me feel bad that I can think of. The last question she has, not the last question of this video, is how did you get the courage to move out of your parents' house, and when did you? So right before I got injured, I was living with a guy. We were living at home with his dad, and we broke up about, I think, 3 months before I had my car accident that paralyzed me. And so I moved back home with my dad during that time. So when I got injured, I obviously needed full-time care. And if you guys don't know, my father is a truck driver, so he wasn't home to give me the care that I needed, and his house wasn't accessible. So I went to go live with my mom after I got injured, and I lived there, I think it was 2 or 3 years. And the reason I decided to move back home was because it was putting a strain on my mom and I's relationship, because my mom left when I was 8, and so we didn't really have a close relationship like we do now, and we were dealing with getting to know each other, but also dealing with me being paralyzed, which was really hard on me. I was angry all the time. I was bitter. When things didn't go my way, I would get pissed off, being honest with you. So I knew that I wanted to move back home because my mom lives in a different state. She lives in Tennessee and I live in Illinois, and so I didn't know anybody there. And it was really hard for me to find and make friends because I didn't have a job there. And when I went to therapy, it was generally just me in therapy. So I couldn't meet other people because I wasn't getting out. And I wanted to get back home to be with people that I knew and I grew up with. So as far as courage, I think that I blindly went into it. I just knew that this is what I wanted, or what I thought I wanted. And it worked out. I've lived alone since then. I've been on my own for about 5 or 6 years, and obviously now I live with my partner, but yeah, I've been on my own since then. Okay, so this one has a couple of questions in it too. How are planning trips and or date nights, like what are they like? So a lot of the times Jacob and I's date nights consist of going out to eat because we are foodies. So like the other night I just texted him and I was like, hey, do you want to come meet me after work? Because I really like to go out to eat and sit down with you. We used to go to movies all the time too because he's a huge movie junkie. We haven't done that in a while, but that's usually our date nights, or we just stay home and watch TV on the couch, and that's about it. I feel like since we live together, date nights have kind of slowed down because we're together all the time. We used to have weekly date nights on Saturday where we would go to a movie and go out to eat. Just kind of spend time together because we weren't seeing each other a lot. So I don't really know if that answers your question. We were just like, hey, let's go do this. How do you overcome social anxiety? So I'm still a very socially anxious person. I have a lot of anxiety because of my disability. I'm always scared something's gonna go wrong, or that it's not gonna be accessible, or that everyone's gonna stare at me and that I'm not gonna fit in. As far as getting over it, one, I take medicine for it. I think that that helps me a lot. Two, I surround myself with people who I know will understand. A lot of my anxieties revolve around the bladder and bowel function, and the people that I keep in my life are people that I know if something happens, they're not going to care. So that helps me a lot. I'm around people who I know don't care about that kind of stuff, that they only want to be around me because they're my friend and they love me. And then I also don't know if this is the best advice, but just putting yourself in those situations. Start out slow, go out with a couple of people and just kind of work yourself up that way. I also have a job that requires me to be a very sociable person. I'm a salesperson, so I'm constantly having to talk to people, and I think that's another reason why I got over it, but there are still days where my anxiety is through the roof and it's very hard to cope with. Going along with the job, she wants to know, how do you bring up the disability topic? Do you share your stories with your coworkers? So as far as applying for jobs, I obviously never apply for a job that I cannot physically do, but I do not mention my disability anywhere on my resume. They do not know it until I come in for an in-person interview, and even then I'm not going to talk about it because as long as it doesn't affect me doing the job, then there's no reason it should be brought up. Telling my stories with my coworkers, yes, I do. Generally, I will bring it up so that it's like the elephant in the room. I know the majority of people want to know and want to ask. They just don't know me, so they don't know how to ask or if I'm comfortable talking about it. So I'm not, generally I don't just say like, hi, I'm Sabrina, I'm new here. Oh, and I bet you're wondering why I'm in a wheelchair. I'll bring it up. If it's relevant, I'll be like, oh, well, I was in a car accident and that's why I'm in the wheelchair, or whatever. But generally, yeah, I do tell my coworkers in time. It doesn't take very long because I don't want there to be that awkward tension in the room, if you will. The next question is, should people help you or let you do things on your own? Always offer help. If I say no, then accept it the first time. Don't keep pressuring me. If I ask, I know my limits and I know when to ask for help. So if I need help and you haven't offered it, I will know when to ask. But a lot of the times people will say like, can I help you? And I'll be like, no, I've got it. And they're like, oh, no, let me help. And it actually makes it worse, like especially with getting my chair in and out of my car, because I have to explain to them how to do it and then wait for them to learn how to do it. It adds so much more time. So my answer to that, it may vary for everyone, but ask if you can. If I say no, then accept that the first time. Don't push me. And I know my limits, so I will know when to ask for help. This is a wedding question. She said, will you have a daddy-daughter dance? She's getting married. She also has a disability and she doesn't know what to do. I will. I haven't really thought much about it, but I will have a daddy-daughter dance. I would love to have that with my father. So yeah, I mean, I haven't really thought much into it. I will, but I haven't really thought much about it. This same person asked about sex. I did get another question about positions, so I'll try to answer that here. Sex is obviously different when you're a disabled person. Some things work, some things don't work. You have to learn what works for your partner. The biggest tip that I can give to you if you were someone who is disabled and looking for advice as far as sexuality and stuff like that goes is learn your body. So figure out what you like and what you don't like. If that means trying out toys, learning what parts of your body are you like being touched or whatever. Find out what you like, explore yourself, and then communicate that with your partner and or partners. Make sure that you're always being safe, obviously. Make sure you're getting tested. But I think the biggest thing is making sure you know your body and know what you like and what your limitations are, and also being able to communicate that with the person that you are having sex with. I got a couple questions like this as well. It says, I am not disabled in the way that you are, but I have been fighting cancers for the last 2 years. My fiance has had to be a caregiver for me and a caregiver for me a lot, and so have my children. I guess my question is, how do you overcome the feeling of guilt of them having to step into that role? I feel so bad anytime I have to ask for help of any kind, even something as simple as asking to say, get me a drink, because I'm so exhausted from the chemo. So first of all, I did reach out to you personally. I want to thank you so much for sharing your story. I've heard a part of your story, and I just really appreciate you sharing that with me. But as far as getting over the guilt, a lot of the times I will apologize to Jacob. Recently there was a time where I literally had to call him like 16 times, something like that, in one day, needing help. And it was a bunch of little stuff. At one point I fell out of my chair. There are times where I need him to reach things up high for me or get stuff out of the washer, or sometimes I need him to dump the cat's box. We have just communicated, and I did ask him, and I can't remember what exactly he said, but I think if you have a partner who, the people around you who love you are going to understand that sometimes you need help, and I don't think they care as much as you think they do. I think that it's important, again, to have that open dialogue with them, just kind of figure out what works and what doesn't work. I can't say that for your relationship because I obviously don't know your relationship with those people, but there have been times where both Jacob and my sister have had to wipe my butt, both of them. And if you know my sister, you will know that she's a huge germaphobe, and there have been times where she has literally wiped my butt for me. And did she love it? Of course not. But did she do it because I needed it? Yes. And she never made me feel guilty about it. We joke about it a lot, but I think the people around you really don't care that much. I think that it's just something that you have to overcome. I still struggle with it. I'm always telling Jacob, I'm so sorry that I asked for help, and he's like, I don't care. Like, that's what I'm here for. Just ask. People who are able-bodied still ask their partners for help, so just remember that too. It's not just because you have some sort of sickness or you're disabled. Everybody needs help at some point in their life, and I'm positive that your fiance knew what he was getting into when he was with you, so I do not think that it bothers him whatsoever. My sister wants to know, why do you only date bearded redheads? I guess that I have a type. Someone says, no question, just wanted to say, love you. You're always an inspiration. Thank you so much. That's so sweet. What is the most difficult possession when you have sex? This was a guy that asked this. I'm assuming you're being a pervert. Just gonna make an assumption. Being on top, it's hard anyway, especially when your legs don't work, so gonna leave it at that. Did he know you had a disability when you met? I'm assuming he isn't Jacob. Yes, he did. So I met Jacob on a dating app, Tinder. I don't know if I put that I had a disability in my bio. I think that I did something funny, and I also included pictures of me in it. I always tend to mention it, especially when dating, up front. Maybe not the first thing, but pretty soon into starting the conversation, because it is a preference. Some people aren't going to prefer that. They're not going to think they can hang, and I don't want to waste my time getting attached to somebody who cannot physically hang with that. So Jacob did know that I had a disability when he met me, and actually when I met him, he came up to my car as I was getting my chair out, and it was really awkward because I hate when people watch me, especially somebody that I find attractive. So, was he your first relationship after your accident? He was not. I dated a couple guys before Jacob. I personally think that I've dated more since my accident than I did before my accident. But no, Jacob was not my first. Jacob, we've been together for 2 years now. I started dating Jacob 5 years after my accident, I believe. So he was not my first. When he first helped you with something involving your disability, how'd you feel? It's always awkward having somebody, when you first meet them, help you with your disability. The biggest thing that bothers me at first is having people put my chair in my car for me. I think Jacob says, Jacob, will you come here? Ugh. He's playing a game. Okay, never mind. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure he said that I didn't even let him put my chair in. The guy insisted on it, that I did it. So I don't really know how I felt. I'm sure that it was awkward and embarrassing. I remember having the conversation about, hey, I may pee or poop my pants. So that's always an awkward conversation to have too. But Jacob doesn't care about those things. He makes it, there are times where it'll be super embarrassing and we'll just joke. Like the other day, I bought a new pair of pants. It wasn't the other day, it was a while back. I bought a new pair of pants and the first time I wore them, I pooped my pants in them. He's like, you gotta break them in somehow. That's just, we've just kind of learned to deal with it and laugh at it because there's really nothing else that you can do. Okay guys, I wanna thank you so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed this video, then give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Make sure you follow me on Instagram if you haven't, at heysabrinafaith. And if you have any more questions regarding disability and relationship, leave them in the comments below and you can send them to me on Instagram and I will try to answer them either directly to you or maybe if you guys like this, I will do another video regarding this topic. Thank you again so much for watching and I will see you in the next one. Bye!